All right, guys, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed, who watched the last video. The comments have been, overwhelmingly positive, and that makes me so happy to know that you guys are on board with this crazy adventure that we've set off on. It's pretty wild. It's a huge life change for us. And once again, just thank you guys so much for all the kind words and the support, and the subscriptions are just insane. So thank you guys. Now head with me to the Caribbean. We're going to Trinidad and we're gonna go check out a Leopard 46. Let's go.
Looks good in the light as well.
Well, looking at the boat up close in the light, it looks very nice. Very much looking forward to going on for a sail today, and I already want the boat. All right, on board we've got the engines fired up. They started up immediately, no smoke. These only have about, I think about 1,500 hours on them, which is actually really low hours. I think that the Yanmar engines say 10,000 hour before rebuild. So this is a 2008, and he's only got 1,500 hours on them. Same thing with the generator, very low hours. Generator's running right now too, just to check everything out. On the deck, we've got like storage compartments, generator locker. This is where the anchor windlass is, which is the winch basically for the chain. Got the anchor down there. Got some nets that are in very good condition. Got the Princess seats up here, so you can hang out in probably the best spot on the boat while you're sailing. I mean, you're sitting here and you're just looking out while you're sailing. It's a great view, especially when dolphins are around and you have the dolphins in the water just playing with the front of the boat. I'm not sure what it is, but dolphins just love the pressure, I think, of the water coming off the bow. So as the boat's going through the water and just pushing the water out, dolphins come through and almost like surf the waves. And it's just such a cool sight to have dolphins that are, I don't know, I think dolphins are amazing. So we have had some really cool experiences with them. On our boat, our Catamaran, out of the Marina del Rey, going to Catalina and stuff. Last time we went was just maybe less than a month ago, and we had easily 100 dolphins just come over to the boat, and they stayed with us for at least 5 minutes, probably longer. The girls were up front and just having a blast, and it's just something really special. I've seen some other boats of this age, and the same Leopard 46, but this one is by far in the best condition out of any other boat that we've looked at in this year range. Even newer boats I have been aboard are not this well taken care of. It's pretty awesome. Also, a lot of times the windows are crazed, which is just like all these little hairline cracks, but these, I don't see any cracking here. It looks really good. Does it look like they've been really well taken care of? It probably has covers on most of the time. I know he took most of the covers off for us to see the boat, and we just put these covers back on, which are really nice, especially because it is very hot. It's 90 degrees right now, obviously very humid. It rained earlier, it'll rain again later. So this keeps all of that rain and spray out of the cockpit, so you can see nice and dry. Yeah, and keep the sun off of you as well, so it's nice and shaded inside of there. All right, so we are officially underway. Just made a U-turn. Officially, now we're in for some real trouble. So this is another boat that I was looking at for a while. Not this exact one, but the Katanas. Yeah, very nice boat, daggerboard boat. Also very well built. But the space on board of the Katanas are quite a bit smaller than the space on the Leopard. So very nice boat, faster for sure. That's a 471, so it's a 2001 to 2005-ish. Nice boat. Be great for weekend sailing and short trips, but for liveaboard, I think that the Leopard 46 is probably the way to go. Look at that thing. I am currently steering the boat. Michael has left me in charge up here. It's feeling pretty good. This is not a small boat by any means, but it is very manageable. So all the lines are led up here, so you can control even when you're sailing. So Venezuela is just right in front of us. Well, unfortunately there is not much wind at the moment, but it's still early and we've got a few hours before we head over to haul the boat out to inspect the boat, see it from underneath the water line. And that whole experience is going to be really cool because I have not seen that in person on anything this big. So it's pretty impressive. But before we do that, we do have more time. So we're gonna go over to a little anchorage spot. We're gonna drop the anchor, check out all of that stuff, make sure the chain looks good, make sure the anchor looks good, make sure the windlass all works well. And for the time being, we're just cruising along, going about 7.5 knots. Absolutely beautiful out here. I'm loving it. I really cannot wait to do this full time. Yeah, there's just nothing else like it. Out on the water, we've got these beautiful islands, fishing boats cruising around. Gonna head through that pass over there, or are we gonna duck in there for an anchorage? Doesn't really matter. It's all good. All right, so we're pulling into this bay right now, and Michael, who owns the boat, has left me in charge of the anchor. Never used a windlass before. We always have had just a anchor on a small boat we drop in by hand. But this is pretty cool. He's got the labels here of how deep the chain is. So on the chain, it'll actually have those colors, so you can tell how much chain you're putting out, because you want to put out the right amount of chain for the conditions. There's almost no wind here, so we don't need to put a lot of chain out, but there's a thing called a scope. It's the depth to how much anchor chain you put out. But I think we're gonna put out about 20 meters out. All right, anchor's away. All right, well, we had a nice time over here in this anchorage, had lunch, hung out for a bit, looked at all the systems on the boat. We actually pulled the sails out while we were over here and checked them out. They look okay. They're not in the best shape, but they're probably good for another couple years. So now we've got a squall blowing in. It's looking kind of dark. It's raining and getting obviously a little bit choppy, but either way, we got to go over to haul out the boat. So we're heading over there right now, and we'll see what this thing looks like from underneath. That thing right there is going to lift this boat out of the water and then bring it up there, drive it into its parking spot for the next few days. Whew. Oh, hopefully this all goes well. All right, so it's all in control of these guys' hands right now. They're centering the boat up. Dude in there driving this thing back. Hopefully he doesn't drive it off the edge here. Whew. So obviously it was too dark to check out the boat last night, but we got over there this morning, and in between the rain, I was able to take a look at the bottom of the boat and really inspect everything. I had about a 20-minute window between the rainstorms. It's been raining a lot here, tropical, so obviously if that's gonna happen, keeps everything green. But looked at the bottom of the boat and it was in great shape. I didn't find any issues. The folding props were great. All of the zincs were looking good. The bottom paint looked really fresh. There was no growth on the bottom. Obviously, he cleans it often and maintains it well. I was also able to go over the boat and just check out everything that that was said on the survey. So the boat has had a survey recently, just a few weeks ago. So I went over the notes and confirmed that everything the surveyor said was true. The billages are clean, the hose clamps are good, the seacocks, which are the valves that go underwater that let the water into the boat, into the hoses for all the plumbing system. Everything has been really well maintained and looks awesome. So the boat is in great shape. The sails will need to be changed. The sails are not great, but we can get away with it for a while here in the Caribbean, probably for a season or so. You don't really use the jib and the main that often. When you're cruising, you're going to use a spinnaker a lot more. You're going to do more downwind sailing. And then if you're going upwind, you're probably just going to pull the sails down and just motor. Gives you a lot better angle to the wind. We can get into that later, but those sails will need to be changed. The dinghy is not great. We'll probably replace the dinghy fairly soon, so that's a big chunk of money. The boat overall is just in great shape. We do want to buy the boat and we're ready to make an offer. But I need to make sure that we can get everything else done that we need to get done. There's a lot of paperwork and a lot of things that have to happen before we can buy the boat. We have to go through a purchase sale agreement. We're gonna have to have a marine attorney go through that and get everything filed. Obviously, that's gonna take some time and some more money. And insurance. Insurance is really important. This is a big purchase. So I need to start getting some quotes from some insurance companies, make sure that they will insure me, because I have never bought a boat this big before, just small boats, which is pretty easy to get insured. This is the complete opposite. A lot of people get turned down insurance on boats because they don't have enough experience, not just boating experience, but experience on this size of a boat. So sometimes people have had to actually downsize what they would want to buy and get more experience on a smaller boat like a monohull or something. We don't want to have to do that. We want to go onto a catamaran, and this is the boat for us. I do think so. Now, let's see if we can make it happen.